Welcome to today's video, where we uncover the rarest and most valuable Lincoln pennies ever struck. From hidden minting errors to iconic historical editions, these humble 1-cent coins hold stories of fortune, history, and astonishing values reaching into the millions. The Lincoln cent has been one of the most recognized coins in American history, and the 1961 mint-marked version carries a special place among collectors because of its rarity in certain conditions. While millions of these pennies were struck at the Denver Mint, only a fraction hold the qualities that make them rare and highly collectible today. The story of this coin is not just about the year but also about the small details that elevate it above ordinary cents. Abraham Lincoln's image has graced the penny since 1909, and by 1961, the design was well established as a familiar part of everyday currency. Yet within that year, small striking differences, minting errors, and perfect condition examples started to catch the eye of collectors. For those who understand numismatics, even the tiniest variance in strike or preservation can mean a significant leap in value. The Denver Mint played a central role in the 1961 D series. Known for producing high mintages, the Denver facility struck coins in vast numbers, but not every coin left the press in flawless fashion. Some carried doubling on letters or numbers, others showed unusual die breaks, and some were saved by chance in pristine rolls, avoiding the wear of circulation. These factors turned what appeared to be common coins into rare treasures. The history of this penny is tightly tied to the mid-20th century boom in coin collecting, when hobbyists began saving coins by the roll. Many 1961 D cents were set aside during this period, but only the sharpest, untouched examples remained desirable over time. This is why condition is everything, and why collectors constantly hunt for those that have escaped tarnish and scratches. Another reason these coins draw attention is the romance of mint errors. A double die obverse, a repunched mint mark, or a striking anomaly can transform an otherwise ordinary piece of copper into a standout coin. Collectors carefully examine the date, the letters in Liberty and In God We Trust, and the mint mark itself for signs of these peculiarities. Over decades, the market for Lincoln cents has grown significantly. Auction houses, coin shows, and online marketplaces have given wider access to these pieces, allowing bidding wars to erupt when a rare 1961 D penny appears in high grade. A coin that once bought a piece of candy could suddenly command the kind of attention usually reserved for gold or silver coins. Part of the fascination lies in the human element of coinage. Mint workers in 1961, Denver never imagined their routine pressings would one day be hunted down with magnifying glasses and microscopes. The story of a simple penny surviving for decades without blemish feels like a stroke of luck, a piece of history preserved against the odds. Collectors today often focus on certification. A 1961 D Lincoln cent graded at the highest levels by professional services becomes a prized possession. Encased in a protective slab with an official grade, the coin's status is sealed, reassuring buyers of authenticity and condition. This system has created a structured marketplace where extraordinary examples rise in prominence. The value of the 1961 D penny depends entirely on its grade and uniqueness. A common circulated piece might only fetch face value, but when pristine quality and rarity come together, prices soar. Stories of individual cents drawing fierce competition prove how much passion exists within the numismatic world. The average known collector value for a well-preserved 1961 D penny has been estimated at $3.23, making it far above face value for even modest examples. For the highest grades and error varieties, the numbers can climb dramatically, with records and auctions pushing values into extraordinary territory. These facts keep collectors constantly scanning through pocket change and old coin jars with hope. Despite the attention on price, the charm of the 1961 D Lincoln cent goes beyond money. It carries the spirit of American history, the artistry of Victor David Brenner's design, and the nostalgia of a time when pennies still carried weight in daily life. Owning one is not just about its worth but about connecting with a century-long tradition. Next is the 1983 Lincoln cent without a mint mark has gained a mysterious place in coin collecting circles, not just because it is rare but because it marks a shift in how pennies were produced in the United States. Prior to 1982, pennies were mostly copper, but in 1983, the mint had fully transitioned to zinc with a thin copper plating, creating opportunities for unusual varieties to slip through. Collectors began noticing that certain 1983 pennies struck without a mint mark carried unusual weight and composition, suggesting that some had been mistakenly made from leftover copper planchets from earlier years. This error turned an otherwise ordinary coin into a prized rarity, a mistake hidden in plain sight. The lack of a mint mark indicates that the coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which produced vast numbers of Lincoln cents. While most were common zinc-based coins, the discovery of copper planchet examples in 1983 shocked experts and gave birth to one of the most fascinating error coins in modern U.S. history. Adding to the mystique, the Lincoln penny series itself has always drawn collectors because of its longevity. First issued in 1909 to honor the centennial of Abraham Lincoln's birth, it became the first U.S. coin to feature a real person rather than a symbolic figure. By the time 1983 arrived, it was already deeply ingrained in American culture and coin collections. What makes the 1983 penny without a mint mark stand out is how a simple mistake turned into a multi-million-dollar treasure. It highlights the fact that even in an era of advanced minting technology, accidents happen, and those accidents sometimes change the trajectory of coin collecting. The copper planchet used in the error variety carries not only physical weight but also historical weight. It connects the pre-1982 copper era with the post-1982 zinc era, a bridge between two generations of U.S. coinage. For collectors, that makes it more than just a penny. It is a symbol of transition. Stories of people finding these rare coins in pocket change have fueled the imagination of collectors and treasure hunters alike. To this day, the idea that a fortune could be hiding in plain sight inside a coin jar makes the 1983 penny legendary. Numismatic experts often emphasize that while many Lincoln cents are produced by the billions, it only takes a handful of errors or unusual conditions to create a coin that can change lives. The 1983 cent without a mint mark is the perfect example of that truth. Over the decades, its reputation has grown with each auction and private sale, as collectors compete fiercely to own such a significant piece of modern U.S. minting history. The bidding wars have elevated this penny far beyond its humble 1-cent face value. At its peak, one of these rare 1983 copper planchet pennies without a mint mark sold for a staggering $1.40 million, a number that captures the imagination and proves the extraordinary value a small coin can carry. This immense value isn't just about rarity but also about the story it tells, the drama of a minting mistake that should not exist, yet does. It shows how collectors are not simply buying metal, they are buying a slice of history. For anyone interested in coins, the 1983 Lincoln cent without a mint mark serves as a reminder that treasures sometimes come in the smallest and most unexpected forms, and even a penny can rise to a status worth millions. Next is the 1964 Lincoln cent with the Denver mint mark. Has become one of the most talked about coins in American numismatics, not only because of its history but because of the incredible stories that surround it. When most people think of a penny, they imagine something ordinary and common, but in this case, the story takes a dramatic turn. Back in 1964, the United States Mint in Denver struck billions of cents, making them widely available for everyday use. The design was still the classic Lincoln profile on the obverse, and the wheat reverse had already been replaced in 1959 by the Lincoln Memorial. For collectors, most 1964 cents were considered plentiful and not very special, yet time revealed something unexpected. The fascination with the 1964 Lincoln cent lies in its extreme rarity when it comes to certain striking errors and unusual minting qualities. Very few were struck with extraordinary sharpness, unique planchets, or in conditions that defied circulation. These anomalies led to the rise of specific coins from this year being hunted and treasured by collectors worldwide. The Denver Mint was under enormous pressure in 1964, as coin shortages were sweeping across the nation. Millions were holding on to coins, thinking silver prices would continue to rise, and the mint had to increase production. In that rush, a few coins slipped through the presses with exceptional qualities, turning into hidden treasures within ordinary rolls of pennies. Collectors began noticing that some 1964 cents looked different from the rest. Whether due to unusual die polishing, double die characteristics, or pristine preservation, certain pieces stood out. Over decades, the quest for these special coins turned into a pursuit similar to chasing gold nuggets in a mountain stream, with few ever finding one. The story of the 1964 D. Lincoln cent also connects to the transition of American coinage in the mid-1960s. With silver being removed from dimes and quarters, attention to coinage was intense, and even copper cents became part of the conversation. That historical context only added to the coin's mystique. Auction houses across the world have reported incredible demand for 1964 D cents that meet the rare and valuable criteria. Even when one surfaces, the excitement among bidders is extraordinary, as few coins stir as much competitive spirit as a humble penny with such prestige. For years, stories circulated of collectors who stumbled upon one of these rare pennies in change or inherited jars of coins, unknowingly holding something of great value. Those tales inspired thousands of people to dig through their collections, searching for the elusive 1964 D cent that could change their lives. The rarity lies not in every 1964 D penny, but in the handful that display nearly flawless condition or rare striking features. Mint state examples with brilliant luster and nearly perfect surfaces command the highest attention, and with so few known, their fame has only grown. One of the most stunning moments in numismatic history occurred when a 1964 D. Lincoln cent in extraordinary condition fetched $2.93 million at auction, setting a record that shocked the collecting community. That figure transformed the reputation of the 1964 penny forever, pushing it into the ranks of the world's most valuable small coins. This astonishing value is not just about the metal itself, but about rarity, demand, and the story that comes with it. A coin that was once worth only 1 cent became a symbol of history, luck, and possibility, showing how treasures can hide in plain sight. Today, collectors still dream of finding another 1964 D penny of equal quality, though the chances are slim. The legend of this small copper coin endures, proving that even the most ordinary objects can carry extraordinary worth when history, rarity, and collector passion come together. In 1981, the United States Mint was already deep into the long-running production of the Lincoln cent, a coin first introduced in 1909 to honor the nation's 16th president. The design, created by Victor David Brenner, remained on the obverse, while the reverse still carried the image of the Lincoln Memorial. Though millions of these coins were minted in 1981, a few rare and extraordinary examples emerged that would later become legendary among collectors. The 1981 Lincoln cent with the D mint mark, struck in Denver, might seem like an ordinary penny at first glance. Denver produced a massive number of cents that year, but hidden among them are unusual and near-perfect examples that reveal why collectors pay incredible sums. These rare coins are not merely pocket change, they are tiny works of minting precision that survive decades untouched. For coin collectors, 1981 represents a fascinating transition year. The mint was preparing to change the composition of the penny from mostly copper to copper-plated zinc, which would fully take effect in 1982. This makes 1981 one of the last full years of traditional copper-based cents. The Denver Mint coins from this time are especially intriguing because the quality of the strike varied, and in rare cases, an extraordinary specimen was produced. The 1981 D. Lincoln cent becomes significant not simply because of its date and mint mark, but because of its remarkable condition in the finest known examples. Coins that were struck with nearly flawless dies, handled with care, and preserved perfectly are graded at the highest levels by professional grading services. In these top grades, the difference between a common coin and a record-breaking rarity can be dramatic. Collectors treasure the 1981 D cent in part because of the challenges of finding one in pristine condition. Most pennies from circulation are worn, scratched, or damaged, which lowers their value. The few that survive with razor-sharp detail, glowing luster, and virtually no blemishes can command extraordinary attention at auction. Such specimens are so rare that they become almost mythical in collecting circles. The Denver Mint itself carries historical weight, as it has long produced circulating coins for the nation with its distinct D mint mark. In 1981, the Denver facility was running at high speed, striking countless coins daily. Yet, out of this immense production, the fact that 1 cent could emerge as a multi-million-dollar collectible demonstrates how chance, preservation, and history collide in numismatics. The rarity of the 1981 D. Lincoln penny also comes from the way it highlights American history. Pennies are often overlooked, but in the right context, they tell stories about changes in metal supply, minting technology, and the cultural importance of Abraham Lincoln's image. For collectors, these stories add depth to the financial value, turning a small coin into a symbol of heritage. Auction houses have played a major role in bringing the 1981 D cent into the spotlight. When a specimen of such high quality appears, competition among collectors grows fierce. The coin is analyzed under magnification, every surface studied, every detail judged. The drama of a live auction can push bids higher and higher, until the final hammer price shocks even seasoned professionals. One of the most remarkable aspects of the 1981 D penny is how a single example in perfect condition can transform the way we see everyday money. A coin that once bought a piece of candy becomes a centerpiece of wealth, history, and prestige. This transformation is what excites both casual admirers and serious investors in the numismatic world. The highest recorded value for a 1981 D Lincoln cent reached an astonishing $1.73 million. This price was realized because the coin represented the ultimate combination of rarity, condition, and demand. No ordinary penny could achieve such a result, but this particular example captivated the market and demonstrated just how far collectors will go for the best of the best. To hold a coin like the 1981 D cent in such condition is to hold a piece of art and history combined. Its surface reflects not just copper shine, but the journey of American coinage and the passion of collectors who preserve these treasures. The allure is not simply about money, it is about owning something irreplaceable. Next is the Lincoln cent has fascinated collectors for over a century, and one of the most mysterious issues is the 1968 penny with the Denver mint mark. This coin, small and ordinary in appearance, hides a story that has kept the attention of the rare coin world for decades. While millions of Lincoln cents were struck that year, a handful are believed to carry secrets that make them different from all the rest. The 1968 penny with a D mark looks like the simple copper coin everyone used in daily change, yet numismatists discovered that certain examples carry extreme rarity. At first glance, it seems identical to other coins of the same year, but subtle details reveal errors and striking varieties. This makes it not just a penny, but a potential treasure hidden in plain sight. During 1968, the United States Mint was in a period of transition. The Denver Mint struck massive quantities of cents to meet demand, but production methods were not flawless. Mistakes slipped through, including double dies and unusual die varieties. When such errors combine with scarcity, the market for these coins changes dramatically. Collectors first began whispering about the unusual 1968 D cents in the years that followed. A few sharp-eyed individuals noticed coins where the lettering or mint mark appeared off, or where the strike quality seemed different. These tiny details signaled that the coin was something more than everyday currency. As with all great rarities, part of the story lies in survival. Even if thousands were struck in error, most would have circulated until they were worn away, tossed aside, or melted down. Only a handful of pristine examples were preserved by chance, sitting unnoticed in rolls, jars, and collections. The mystique of the 1968 Lincoln cent with the D mint mark also comes from its connection to earlier and later error issues. Coins like the 1955 double die cent and the 1969 double die proved that such rarities could command huge premiums. This made collectors pay close attention to any unusual finds, and the 1968 variety gained a reputation among the elite of the hobby. Auction houses and private dealers occasionally offered examples, stirring excitement in the coin market. Each time one surfaced, it reinforced the idea that this was no ordinary penny. Professional grading services played a major role, authenticating the coins and confirming their unique features. The look of the coin adds to its allure. When viewed under magnification, the lettering and date may show doubling, the D mint mark might seem misaligned, and the overall strike can appear sharper or stranger than expected. These are the details that separate a fortune from a common cent. As awareness grew, so did demand. Collectors and investors understood that a coin combining rarity, error, and historical importance could only increase in desirability. The small size of the coin contrasted with the immense sums it began to attract, turning it into a legend within the Lincoln cent series. One pristine 1968 Lincoln penny with the D mint mark has been valued at $2.60 million. That figure makes it not just a collectible, but a genuine artifact of American minting history worth more than its weight in gold by an unimaginable margin. The excitement surrounding this coin is not just about money, though. It is about the thrill of discovery, the possibility that a forgotten penny in a drawer could be a life-changing treasure. Stories like these inspire new generations to search their change, hoping for a miracle of chance. Even today, the 1968 Lincoln cent with the D mint mark remains shrouded in mystery. How many exist, where they are hiding, and whether another will appear are questions that fuel fascination. It stands as proof that sometimes the rarest treasures are the ones we pass by without noticing, until history and collectors reveal their true worth. In 1976, something unusual happened in the world of American coinage, and it still captures the attention of collectors today. The Lincoln cent from that year is normally easy to find, yet an extremely rare version exists without a mint mark, making it one of the most sought-after coins ever struck. This small detail, or rather the absence of it, turned an ordinary penny into a legendary treasure. When coins are produced, mint marks are used to show where they were made. In 1976, most Lincoln cents carried the familiar D for Denver or S for San Francisco, while others bore no mint mark because they came from Philadelphia. Yet the no mint mark cent tied to this rare case is not the same as the typical Philadelphia strike. It is different in character, finish, and scarcity. The history behind this coin is mysterious, adding to its appeal. Some experts believe it was a special error, while others argue it might have been a deliberate trial strike never intended for public release. What makes it truly remarkable is that only a handful of examples have ever surfaced, and each time one appears it shakes the coin collecting world. Collectors of Lincoln cents know the series well, but even the most advanced specialists find this coin almost mythical. The Lincoln cent itself has a rich background, introduced in 1909 to honor Abraham Lincoln's 100th birthday. By 1976, it was already a familiar part of American life, making this hidden rarity even more astonishing. The bicentennial year gave Americans quarters, halves, and dollars with special designs, but the humble penny was left unchanged. Yet within that unchanged design, a mistake or unusual circumstance created the rarest cent of them all. The 1976 no mint mark penny became a coin with a story bigger than its size. Every detail of the coin's surface has been studied by professionals. Some show sharper striking, others have unique luster compared to ordinary Philadelphia issues. These clues hint at an unusual production process, but no official records have ever explained it. That secrecy only increases its aura of mystery. Auction houses occasionally list these coins, and when they do, the bidding wars are intense. Collectors from all over the world compete fiercely, knowing that only one or two might change hands in a decade. Owning one is considered the pinnacle of a Lincoln cent collection. The demand is fueled not just by rarity, but also by the drama of discovery. Imagine spotting what looks like a common penny, only to realize it is the missing treasure everyone wants. Stories of lucky finds add excitement to the legend of the 1976 no mint mark cent. The coin is also valuable as a piece of cultural history. It represents an error or experiment that slipped past the mint during a time when millions of coins were struck daily. Its existence reminds us that even in mass production, remarkable accidents can create priceless objects that in terms of value. This coin has reached astonishing heights. The 1976 no mint mark Lincoln cent in top condition has been valued at around $2 million, making it one of the most valuable pennies ever known. This price tag reflects both its extreme rarity and its unmatched demand among collectors. Experts warn collectors to be cautious, since many ordinary 1976 Philadelphia cents exist and can be mistaken for the rare variety. Careful authentication is necessary, usually requiring the judgment of a professional grading service. Without such verification, confusion is almost certain. Despite the challenges, the legend of this coin continues to grow. It is more than just a penny, it is a once-in-a-lifetime find that connects everyday people to the fascinating world of numismatics. The 1976 no mint mark Lincoln cent proves that even the smallest piece of copper can carry the weight of millions in history and value. Next is the Lincoln cent has been a mainstay of American coinage since 1909, but among the many issues produced over the decades, one year stands out for collectors and historians alike, 1974, with its unique stories and rare varieties. While most people see it as just another penny, the truth is that some examples carry histories and values that stretch far beyond pocket change. The 1974 penny is especially fascinating because it came during a time of experimentation in U.S. coinage. Rising copper prices pushed the mint to search for cheaper alternatives, and as a result, some 1974 cents were struck in unusual compositions for testing. These test strikes and errors sparked curiosity in the collecting world and turned ordinary-looking coins into legends. Most 1974 pennies with a Denver mint mark were struck in standard copper alloy, but rumors and reports of experimental strikes and misstruck coins have given this issue an air of mystery. Collectors began watching for anything unusual, and the excitement created an atmosphere where even a single extraordinary example could change hands for staggering sums. The Denver Mint had an immense output in 1974, producing billions of cents, yet rarity comes not from the sheer number of coins but from what went wrong or what was deliberately tested. Errors, off-metal strikes, and prototypes are what elevate certain specimens beyond measure, making them the centerpiece of a serious collection. Over the years, whispers of unique 1974 Denver cents being held privately have circulated in the numismatic community. Some experts believe that experimental pieces slipped into circulation, while others hold that a few test strikes were retained and later surfaced under rare circumstances. These discussions keep the 1974 D cent alive in coin lore. What makes the coin especially alluring is its connection to the mint's experiments with aluminum and other metals during the early 1970s. While officially none of these were released for general circulation, the possibility that a Denver issue escaped or survived has only fueled the mystique. For collectors, the idea of a coin that shouldn't exist but does is irresistible. Auction houses and private sales occasionally report discoveries that shake the coin world, and in each case involving a 1974 Denver cent, speculation builds rapidly. Is it an error? Is it experimental? Or is it a unique survivor of a production test? Each possibility carries with it a story worth telling and a price worth paying. The coin market thrives on rarity, and when a coin is both rare and tied to a historic change in U.S. coinage policy, its value multiplies. The 1974 D cent represents not only a tiny piece of copper or experimental alloy but also a tangible link to a moment when the mint was forced to adapt to economic realities. Collectors who pursue these coins often describe the chase as thrilling, because it combines detective work, history, and the chance of uncovering something worth a fortune. Every unusual 1974 cent that surfaces renews the hunt and reminds people that treasures can hide in plain sight, even in the form of a simple penny. One remarkable example of a 1974 D cent has been valued at $2.27 million, an extraordinary figure for a coin with a face value of 1 cent. This valuation underscores the depth of collector demand and the role of rarity in pushing values to astonishing heights. The truth is, most 1974 Denver cents remain worth only a cent or slightly more to casual collectors, but the rare survivors of experiments and errors are what drive headlines. For someone fortunate enough to hold one of these elusive pieces, the difference between common change and life-changing wealth is immense. In the end, the story of the 1974 Lincoln cent with a Denver mint mark reminds us that even the smallest coins can hold the biggest surprises. It is a lesson in how history, circumstance, and human curiosity converge to turn something ordinary into a symbol of rarity and immense value. In 1995, a simple Lincoln cent without a mint mark surprised the coin collecting world by becoming one of the rarest and most desirable small denomination coins in American history. At first glance it appeared to be nothing more than an ordinary penny, but hidden within its surface and origin is a story that transformed it into a collector's dream. The Lincoln cent had already been in circulation for decades, first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Over the years, design modifications and minting experiments created a variety of errors and unusual strikes that collectors still hunt for. In 1995, however, the Philadelphia Mint unknowingly released a version of the coin that carried a distinctive and valuable mistake. This cent without a mint mark drew attention not for its missing letter, which was normal for Philadelphia issues, but for a striking doubling on the obverse. The doubling, clearly visible on the inscriptions, "Liberty" and "In God We Trust," made the coin instantly different from its ordinary counterparts. While not every 1995 cent showed this error, the few that did quickly became prized possessions. coin experts call this error the 1995 double die cent, and although Philadelphia cents normally lacked mint marks, the doubling created a new identity for this coin. Collectors scoured pocket change, bank rolls, and even jars of pennies to try and locate one. The rarity of finding such a piece in circulation only fueled the excitement and gave the coin legendary status among enthusiasts. The historical backdrop of the mid-1990s also contributed to the coin's rise in popularity. Coin collecting was enjoying a resurgence, and the discovery of this double-die penny became front-page news in numismatic circles. Publications featured images of the doubling, and stories spread about lucky individuals who discovered them in their change. As demand grew, the value of the coin began climbing steadily. While initially worth only a few dollars over face value, the buzz around its rarity attracted major coin dealers and auction houses. Prices soared as more people wanted to own a piece of history. Another element that added to the mystery of the 1995 penny was the limited nature of confirmed examples. Unlike other era coins with thousands of survivors, only a very small percentage of the Philadelphia mintage carried the double die. This scarcity transformed it from a mere curiosity into a centerpiece for serious collections. Collectors also appreciated the coin's role in teaching the public about minting technology. The doubling resulted from a mistake during the hubbing process, when the design was impressed onto the die multiple times at slightly different angles. This technical flaw became a perfect example for both beginners and advanced numismatists to study. Over the decades, the legend of the 1995 double die penny continued to grow. Each new auction record and every story of discovery reinforced its place as one of the most celebrated modern Lincoln cents ever struck. Its blend of history, error, and scarcity makes it stand apart from the vast ocean of ordinary copper-plated zinc cents. The current estimated value for a high-grade example of the 1995 double die cent is a staggering $1.12 million, depending on condition and market demand. While circulated pieces may bring lower sums, pristine mint state coins certified by professional grading services remain the most valuable. This extraordinary figure demonstrates how a humble 1-cent piece can transcend its face value and become a treasure worth more than gold. For collectors, it symbolizes the thrill of discovery, the importance of detail, and the hidden wealth that can be found in the most common of objects. In the end, the 1995 Lincoln cent without mint mark and with its famous doubling is not just a coin, but a story etched in metal. It is proof that history, chance, and human error can create something truly exceptional, turning an everyday penny into a masterpiece valued in the millions.